And we are back. We've got another morning drive debate today, and this one I honestly don't know if I've been excited as much for the morning drive debates, but this one's got me so pumped, dude. This I had such a fun time, like thinking up what would be the worst possible Valentine's Day date, and I've got some good ones, Blake.
You got me
So I hope
nervous.
you're ready.
I tried really hard to think about some of these. I'll tell you what. If you pick any of mine, I have a very shallow list until it gets to things that are really stupid. So I need you to, I need you to go a totally different direction. Otherwise, it's gonna be a rough draft for me.
I mean, I definitely could see it going in many directions, so I definitely think that's a possibility. Blake, I do believe you have the first overall pick on this draft, so I will, hopefully you don't go with one of mine here, but go ahead and tell us what you got at number one.
I thought of this one, and I thought it would be, I think it would be pretty disappointing in the moment, but then also later on it could cause some problems. So I'm going to go with getting gas station sushi for dinner.
Oh no! So this is like a double whammy type bad date.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like just all right in the moment, but then also in approximately 3 to 4 hours, you're going to be having a really rough night. So that's not how you want to spend your Thanksgiving. No, probably not, but that's also not how you want to spend your Valentine's Day, especially.
I'm just thinking of, picking up your girlfriend or just telling your wife, hey, get ready. We're ready to go. They're like, where are we going? No, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. And you head on down to the freaking Chevron.
Pick anything you like. So that's...
oh, yeah, you're like, can't go over budget here.
I'm happy with that at the first. I'm interested to see where you go with this because... I don't know if we took the same approach. So, what you got for the second?
I have two that I want to pick so badly right now.
You're probably going to get them both.
I would be so mad. Hopefully I do. I would be so mad if you took this one because I think this would be the absolute worst date you could do for Valentine's Day. And that is taking your significant other to Hooters.
Oh, that's pretty bad. That's Yeah, that'll do it. Okay.
That would be that would absolutely you're like, hey, we're going out to dinner, not going to tell you where. And then let's just say you might have a couple of distractions while you're at dinner. I don't think that's going to go over well. I do not think anyone's wife, girlfriend, or significant other
that's a recipe
is
for disaster for so many
much.
reasons. Yeah, that's an excellent choice. Okay. All right, man, I am very worried now at this point. All right, crap. So I'm trying to pick the one that you want, but I don't think I even have it on my list. So I will go. Crap. I'm gonna put going ring shopping for an ex.
Shopping for an ex.
Yep. Yeah, you take your current boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, and you go ring shopping for an ex-girlfriend that you're not over. Admittedly, that was my wife's
first date.
my wife's idea. Like I said, I had a hard time coming up with stuff, so I asked her, and apparently she's very worried about me buying a ring for an ex-girlfriend or something. I don't know who that would be. That was the first thing she said. So
you're like, hey, get ready. We're going down to Jared's. It's Valentine's Day. She's like, oh.
Yeah. So I had to give that one to her because that would be a pretty awkward night. So.
Okay. I think, I hope you're going to let me take this one. It is a little similar, but I think it's different. So with number 4, I want to you take your significant other to you and your ex's spot. And then, like if you had like a restaurant that you always went to or a park you always went to.
Yeah, no, that's
just bring your current to your past.
Yeah, no, I
think that would be an absolutely brutal date.
Yeah, I mean, and it's one thing if, maybe it's just like a restaurant you really enjoy and you think they would like it too. But if it's something that like they know that like you would always went there with like an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, that would be that might be tough to imagine you run into them there on their own Valentine's Day. Oof.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's risky. That's risky.
I mean, definitely a red flag. Yeah. If
Yeah.
someone's trying to take you out to somewhere you've heard them talk about how they went there with their ex or whatever, number one, if they're talking about that, it's already a red flag. But if they then take you there, that's 2 red flags, and you got to tap out because that is not going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Going forward, most of the ones I have are just things that I think would be incredibly boring. They're things that I wouldn't want to do. But before I get into those, I have one more that's, it could be interpreted a couple different ways, but that's a cheap motel, but Motel 6.
Oh, that's good, Blake.
For a weekend getaway for Valentine's Day, and you just get a cheap motel somewhere. You're probably not going to have a good time. There's blood stains on the mattress.
That's awesome.
So that'd be a pretty bad Valentine's.
That's absolutely brutal. Yeah, you're like, hey, I know it's been a tough year financially for us, so I booked us the Roach Motel for even if you got it for like a specific number of hours, a lot worse too.
Yeah. I mean, odds are you're not going to want to be there for more than 15 seconds. So that'd be a pretty bad time. I'm happy with that one.
That's actually a really good pick. Like, I have to say, I think that's your best pick.
Oh, thank you. I was going to see if I could pick it last, but I was worried about you having it on your list, so I figured I'd snag it now before I risked losing it.
No, like you said, I think we went pretty much a completely different way here. And so with my next pick, I am taking, you take your significant other to the local high school's Sweethearts Dance.
Ooh, that is a good choice. I didn't think about that at all.
Can you imagine, dude?
Man.
Can you imagine?
That's
You're just
great.
Rolling in. You got your prom fits on. You got a tux and a dress, and they're like, you're a little over the age limit. Somehow you sneak in. Somehow you sneak some tickets, and you're at a high school dance. I don't know what could be much worse than that.
Yeah, I mean, high school dances were super fun back in the day, but going after you've graduated should be illegal. Like, I don't think that should be allowed.
I'm not sure it is, but I just had to throw it on the list because I thought, man, if you did get like taken to that on a Valentine's Day date, that would be probably the worst.
Especially if it's like a couple of years after. Like, it's not like, your boyfriend graduated, but you're still in high school. Like, that's different. But like, if you're both just years, you're in college, you're graduated from college, whatever, and then you're just like, let's run it back. That's a good choice. I didn't even think about that.
No.
So, yeah. Now is when we get into the things that I just find incredibly boring and I wouldn't want to do. So it's just probably going to be a freebie win for you. But I'm going to go ahead and just say the museum because I hate museums. So not a great choice in terms of Valentine's Day. I just think that would be a really boring time. And Valentine's Day, you want to be out and having fun. Museums are not fun. So I will take that.
No, I definitely agree. I think, if you would just be like, hey, I planned something really fun, like, I guess depending on the person, I mean, like, museums are the worst for me.
Yeah, I know there's people that are going to be upset about that because they love museums. But truth be told, like, there's a million other things that I would rather be doing than walking through looking at an old piece of wood from 1943 that some random dude carried across a river. Like, it's just super dumb. So, no, thank you.
And the worst part about museums is it's not just like the stuff you look at that doesn't matter, but it's the fact that you have to read about all that stuff if you want to figure anything out. And you can't just be there. You have to go read the whole time. Yeah,
and it's like $45 to get in, probably. Like, it better be a way cool museum for me to be paying to go in. Like, I can't. So anyways, that was me just wanting to rant about museums. I just don't like them. So I did have some other options here that
we know like a Blake specific one.
Yeah. I just wanted to give a shout out to
you. Better save him in case just so Brindley can know not to take Blake to a museum this year. For Valentine's Day.
Exactly.
All right. Oof. Okay, so I've got multiple options left here. We'll have to definitely do some honorable mentions afterwards. And I think I'm going to have to take, with the last pick of this draft, taking your date to the local makeout spot.
Oh, yeah. That's for sure. I didn't even think about that. That's a good option. Not a good option in terms
Definitely,
of a Valentine's Day date. I keep getting my holidays wrong. I said Halloween date. Probably don't do that for Halloween either, but especially Valentine's Day, that's not great. I am curious,
yeah,
Porter.
that's
Do you have
definitely going to be.
Do you have anything you and your wife do, like for Valentine's Day? I know you guys just got married, but you've been together. That's like a tradition for you guys. Do you go out to eat somewhere or anything?
Last year we went out to like a nice restaurant for lunch, but yeah, not really anything specific. That was our first Valentine's Day. So, do you have any suggestions, Blake?
No, and truthfully, I was going to ask because the first thing that came to my mind when we do this, I was like, oh yeah, just taking them somewhere like McDonald's. But then I got thinking about it, and like, my wife's favorite place to eat is Culver's. Like, she'd probably be thrilled if on Valentine's Day I was like, hey, do you want to go to Culver's? Which is fast food. Like, it's not anything fancy. So, and like we just go and we don't buy gifts for each other. We just go to Target and do like buy something their favorite color, something that reminds you of them. So it's just like something super simple and easy. And so I was wondering which direction you were going to go with this, because I was like, there's a lot of things that like are cheap and stupid, but like are super fun in terms of just doing them with somebody. So I was interested to see what you guys did. I know it's not Hooters, so that's a good step in the right direction at least. Did you have any honorable mentions?
Oh man, yeah, I did, yeah. So I had doing any sort of errands before the date. So, you just pick them up and you're like, oh, by the way, I got to stop here. And then you like leave them in the car while you do something. Terrible idea. I did have fast food on my list because I thought that could go over pretty poorly. And in most situations, I had Chuck E. Cheese, Bass Pro Shop. And those were all the ones I had. So
okay,
I didn't think those would go over very well.
Yeah, I had a poetry night. Again, these are just things that I think would be super boring. The petting zoo, driving in traffic. I know that's not really an activity, but if you went out and looked for traffic, that'd be pretty bad. And then also playing Monopoly, because two-person Monopoly sounds pretty bad. And then the other thing that I had,
that would take a long time.
Yeah, be a long night. The other thing that I had, which I just think is a dumb date in general, and this might be a hot take, but I think movie dates are stupid. Like, unless you're married and if it's like a first date or a second date, going to the movies is so weird to me because it's like you don't talk to them at all. And so I was trying to think of things that you do by yourself. Kind of in that sense for Valentine's Day would be pretty bad. So the movies is the one thing that like irks me in terms of dates, because you're not spending any time with the person. Really, you're not talking to them. You're just sitting there. You might as well just be sitting on your phones. So I also had that one, but I didn't.
No, that is a good point. Especially if it's a first date, you're just basically watching a movie next to a stranger. Yeah. Kind of awkward.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kind of.
You go drop them off. You're like, that was fun. What's your name again? Like it's
They're like, yeah, exactly.
So that one was just dates in general. That was less Valentine's Day, but I had to throw that out there. So
that's good, because coming up next week, we are going to be talking about these kind of awkward dates. We posted on our Instagram asking for your worst date stories. We've got a bunch of submissions and we want even more. So make sure you're sending us in your worst date story. We will read them 100% anonymously on the show, and we're just going to have an absolute blast with these stories. I've already read through some of them, and geez, dating can be crazy. So I'm really excited for that. Make sure to send us some more. You can DM us on Instagram at PM in the AM podcast. And like I said, it'll be 100% anonymous. But thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. Blake, you got anything else for the listeners?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next week.
Peace out.